Hey, welcome back to Nuanced Nonsense. We're not experts, but we just like to talk. And
I'm your co-host, Ben.
and I'm your other co-host, Alex.
And I brought on the legendary owner of this mic, John Lee. And before we get into it too much, he's also wearing our sponsored shirt. It's called Absence Apparel. It's very minimalistic subtle Asian trait themed designs. And if you like just these types of designs where it doesn't take up too much of the shirt and, you know, it's most of the shirt is just a blank color.
Frocket area design.
Yeah, Frocket area design, basically.
You want the Frocket design, but not the Frocket.
Yeah, the Frocket design without the Frocket. This is where you should look. But yeah, so would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. So I'm a senior here at UT this year. I'm studying both chemical engineering and mathematics, but I am pursuing pre-med, just like this fella here. Yeah. Is there anything else that you guys would like to know about me?
Is there anything interesting about yourself?
Dude, I am like the most boring person on the planet right now. All I'm doing is applications and work.
Okay, aside from that.
Let's see.
Or rather, we ask every guest this: how do you think your college life has been up till this point? Like any highs, any lows?
So actually, this is probably a pretty interesting story. I came in from high school as like a fairly popular student, but coming into college, it's been a pretty lonely time. I think not living on campus with a lot of the freshmen my first year, and additionally like not going out of my way to socialize with people, is pretty impactful on your development, at least within like connecting with other people through college. So that makes it more difficult, and I think having not I'm using the same words all over. But
this is what happens when you write essays. You just when you actually start talking, you're like, and then.
But yeah, it's been a okay time this year because I've had the time to socialize with people some more. But the previous 3 years, when not taking the time to socialize and getting killed by class at the same time, is not the greatest time of my life.
So do you think like you're reconnecting with people that you haven't talked to in a while, or are you like meeting new people?
I think both. Really, it's just this year I've had a little more time than my previous year, so I've been able to go out and like have fun with people, go to like the club meetings as opposed to saying I'm running on a solid 15 minutes of sleep. I can't go. But yeah, it's been more lively. I'm looking forward to the rest of the school year actually.
Like, what are the avenues you I guess you use to like meet new people or socialize? Are you in any clubs, or do you just like meet friends of friends or whatnot?
So like I said, my first 3 years were pretty solitary. So the normal avenues of branching out, I think, when people first come to college is organizations and people within their major. Realistically, I haven't met that many people within my major. So that's the like primary source of people I'm meeting right now. But also, since I come from a Texas school or a Texas high school and I'm at UT now, there's a lot of old friends that I can like reconnect with as well. So that's another pull I'm pulling from. And then I'm not keen on joining too many new organizations this year as a senior, especially.
I feel you.
That's pretty GG.
So it's like the organization that I've tried out before. It's people that I've like probably met once or twice, but never really gotten to know more. It's like actually solidifying the social like acquaintances that I've made in the past 3 years. I think that's the best way to put it.
That's pretty good.
Pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. What else you want me to say about it? Is it pretty bad?
Dude, everything's bad.
Not like this.
Oh my word. But yeah, so me and Alex not long ago came back from watching an anime movie, and this is very abrupt, but John is also an avid viewer of anime.
Avid.
It is pretty avid,
Yeah,
or at least it once
I've
was.
seen 5 episodes this entire semester.
Okay,
so far,
to be fair, it once was.
That's fair. That's fair.
And you're still in the loop on like what's good, what's bad.
Yeah, that's true.
Wait, what 5 episodes have you seen?
I've seen 3 episodes of Kimetsu no Yaiba, the Demon Slayer.
You haven't been watching Demon Slayer?
No, dude, I've been behind on college.
I feel like you're the first person who actually like says a Japanese name, because you're just like Demon Slayer, and I'm just like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm behind on med school.
Okay, some people don't recognize it unless I say the Japanese.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like when you say SNK, some people know it's Attack on Titan, or if you say AOT, some people
I
know it's
literally
Attack
have
on
this
Titan.
argument with you every time.
But like, sometimes you can't tell which one people prefer.
I can tell you right now.
I rewatched the last episode of Gurren Lagann. That's the fourth one.
Is that the one where?
Tengen Toppa, Gurren Lagann.
Oh, it's also when Nina dies.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. But yeah.
Everyone knew it was coming. Okay.
Dude, the people that haven't seen it don't even know who Nina is. It's okay.
But yeah.
So what was the 5th episode?
Yeah, it was the 5th episode.
Let me think. It's been a while. You guys can probably talk about other stuff.
Doctor Stone.
Oh yeah, it was.
Okay.
I watched the first episode.
Wait, I watched. No, you also watched Ari Fureta with me.
Okay, but that was with you. That's not. And there was only one
What
during
is
the
that?
semester, right?
What
The
is
other
that?
two were during the semester.
It's that really shitty isekai that I was showing you with the really bad
Oh,
CG.
the bad CG. Dude, that's like the one where like they literally just had like a fireball and they just said let's just change the Y coordinate. I was just like,
You guys need to cut this in during the editing.
Wait, that shows CGI is so galaxy brain.
Yeah.
Like to make the person like you know how like some people like instead of doing that they just made like the character model shudder and like just moved it like this.
bro, it was like that's literally like I feel like that would be like us if we had access to that type of like technology. Like we didn't have any idea what we were doing, so we just be like, okay.
No, that's handshakers. I heard handshakers. Is
Oh,
the one that's
it's like when you have access to too much technology and no talent.
Yeah.
It's like a visual
Yeah.
like
that's when
mess.
you try to use everything, right? But like in reality, like it's really just peppering like.
You know what
stuff,
that is?
the
It's
right
like when
thing.
you first got access to PowerPoint as a kid,
Yeah.
and then you use like literally as much animation as you could, and like
Yeah.
you know how you can trace the
Scribble,
line.
scribble.
Yeah, you can trace the line sometimes until you can make the words like come on the screen like this. That's exactly what Handshakers is.
Yeah, that was a terrible anime. I was watching it. I was like,
You watched it?
I watched the first episode, right?
I watched like the first 5 minutes, and I was like, this is too much.
Me and my friend, like we had this like joke where it's just like you need to experience the bad to understand.
Okay,
the
it's like
good.
the reason why we watch Ari
Yeah,
Fureta.
yeah. So I was just like, like we need to have taste. So we watched the first episode of Handshakers. Like, yeah, this is pretty hard. Maybe we'll let the critics say, or we'll let what people say judge or tell us what's good or not. So yeah, then we stopped. But we lasted a whole episode.
Damn,
That's crazy.
Impressive, yeah.
That's
It was-
pretty crazy.
It was bad. I was just like,
Though
what's going on?
the poster art for it looked pretty good.
It had a good
It's
concept.
because like I think you can dump art onto a poster for a
still?
Yeah, it's a still. I mean, I don't want to say like a still piece of art can just have like vomited colors on there, but you know,
But it's more.
it like shows that there's a lot of stuff happening in like a film, I think, and I think that made it okay. It looks like there's a lot of exciting aspects to learn about, but they're really
Wasn't.
yeah.
it was just bad.
But yeah, back to what I was about to say. Me and Alex just finished watching the Bunny Senpai movie, and no spoilers, but it was so good.
Yeah, you want to give a little context about the series?
Okay, so the series, Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai, or see, I don't know the Japanese on this one.
Yeah.
Dude, it's too long.
It is too long. See, it's like light novel things. But anyway,
Yeah.
So it's about like if you've ever seen Monogatari series, it's kind of like themed the same way where there's one dude and he's helping out a bunch of girls with supernatural problems, but it's a different context because they do this. It's centered in high school first of all, and second of all, this one they have this thing called teenager syndrome. It's
Puberty
like
syndrome.
yeah, puberty syndrome. And it's like similar to what Chunibyo was like theming their show about. But this one they manifest it in like they're like physical phenomena. Like for example, the main character has like these scars on his chest, which are like part of his puberty syndrome. Well, I'm not gonna get into why it is, but like it's just like all these various problems are happening, and the main character meets this girl that no one else can see. So she's just walking around wearing like a bunny girl outfit, and he sees her. And that's like how the plot gets moving because no one else can see her, but he can see her. And then it's an unraveling mystery behind like just this girl and like various other girls. And I thought the movie was like super conclusive and it had like really nice like ending to it.
Yeah, I also really liked the movie mainly because like I think the series as a whole just subverts a lot of tropes. Like you hear like guy helping out a bunch of like girls with like their supernatural problems, and you're like, okay, this sounds like this is a generic harem, right? Like they're all gonna fall in love with him because he was nice to them and stuff like that. But you know, like he does end up dating like the main girl, but for most part, like he just remains friends with the girls. But it's also just like throughout the film, like it seems like it will follow this plot. Like I can't really go into specifics because that'll spoil a lot of the film. But it's like he's like he needs to save like this girl, but like she's like, oh, this might happen instead. So you think like something's gonna happen this way, but like it actually breaks down each element of the story, and like everything makes sense once you think about it. Like it was a pretty sad film, but like honestly, I didn't have that much time to be sad. I was just like, what's going on? Like this film is too big.
Yeah, after like the 30-minute mark, it kind of like picks up pace really fast.
Yeah.
And then like Alex was like, I didn't have time to be sad because everything was just happening at a breakneck pace because like things kept happening, you know? Yeah. Like after you reach like the pivotal point in the movie, everything just starts going down like a slope.
But you're able to follow what was happening.
Yeah, like if you thought about it.
Like if you actually think like during the movie, like you'll be able to like kind of follow what's going on, and then like after the film you like think of it and you're like, oh, like this is what happened, you know.
Okay, so it's like clear. It's not like too many convoluted ideas over
it. Like Monogatari is like one where you have to like engage your brain into like the matrix to like follow. Because like they have so many like of these like Japanese like comedy things that you don't understand, and so they have like the text at the top to like explain what it is, and by the time you read that, they've already said like a million different things because the entire show is conversation.
Yeah.
Bunny Girl Senpai is like there is action because of the physical phenomena of like these things, but in Monogatari the things are resolved, like there's supernatural phenomena as well known as aberrations, but they're resolved by like it's an emotional resolution because these aberrations exist because people have like trauma or they're like not satisfied with something or just like there's regret or something, and yeah. Like, I just really enjoy not having to, like, think about literally everything they're saying. I didn't remember that one of the first times I was watching the Monogatari series, I, like, looked at my phone for, like, 2 minutes, and I looked up. They were in a different setting. They were in a different setting. They, like, had so much conversation, like, in those 2 minutes. I couldn't follow what they were saying anymore. And, like, I think there was, like, another character in the scene. I was like, what just happened?
Yeah. Have you ever watched Monogatari?
I think I've definitely seen parts of episodes of it, but I've never seen the series as a whole.
Yeah. I've never watched it either. Like I only know what like Betos told me. Like honestly, Bunny Girl Senpai like it's not like to that extent, but it's still like I guess like if you just watch like action or like normal stuff, it's still like kind of big brain where like you still need to like you can't turn off your brain and like eat popcorn like mindlessly as you watch it, you know. But it's like I think
turning off my brain is a specialty.
Yeah, I know.
Like for example, me and Alex watched Promare 2 weeks ago, and like that was like you can just turn your brain off, and it's like super enjoyable.
Yeah. So Promare is like from the same studio who made like Gurren Lagann, like what they were talking about earlier.
Kill la Kill.
Kill la Kill. Like it's very like it's like a very visual spectacle. It's about like it's really about the experience and like the action. But like in terms of the plot, it's like it's very simple, but it knows it's simple too. So everything's very tongue in cheek, which also like enhances the experience. But yeah, like that film you watch and you're just like you're just there to have a good time, and like
it was a good time.
Yeah, and then Bunny Girl's like kind of in the like between like Monogatari, like that's a tier of like you need to like this is almost like a test. Like you have to like pay attention and remember the details, understand what's going on. Like Bunny Girl might be in the like kind of in the middle to upper tier where it's just like you don't need to think too hard, but like you need to pay attention, you know. Yeah. Okay, it's like everything is plotted out, so you can tell the writer of the series like they cared enough, like they're not relying on tropes. Like, you can tell that they put some thought into it. But yeah,
like there is character development.
It's sort of like Koi no Katachi.
Koi no Katachi.
Silent Voice.
It's not like that in the sense that the movie is a sequel, like a direct sequel.
Oh, so it comes after the anime, just
like you can't watch it standalone.
Yeah,
like it's also canon too.
Yeah, I heard some people in the theater were like, "Yeah, I didn't watch the series," and I was just like,
"What was the point?
Like, what are you doing? Like, the only reason why you would want to come is because you watched the series."
So you needed the context of the series to understand the movie.
It also like it's much more satisfying to, it's because it's a sequel.
But I mean, like you can't expect everyone to have watched all the like Marvel movies before watching the newest one, you know?
But that's different because this one is.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, that's true, but this was contained. Because like the anime cycle nowadays is 13 episodes, right?
Yeah.
It's contained to 13 episodes, then movie.
Like I think what you're saying is probably more similar to like Monogatari, where like there's literally like 10 series or whatever.
Holy, okay,
so, like,
Monogatari is so weird.
Like that's actually hard, but at the same time, like I think for Monogatari you kind of do need to watch everything to like know what's going on, right?
You have to watch it in their specific order. Like they release things out of chronological order, and the order that you watch it in is also out of chronological order. Like, do you know the machete way of watching Star Wars? It's kind of like that.
Like 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3.
No. It was like I think it was like 4, 1, 2, 3, and then 5, 6.
Yeah, this sounds as
Do you know what I'm talking about?
I feel like
It's called like the machete
I feel
version.
like I have
of
a
watching.
vague idea of what you're saying.
It's
I think
like
I've heard
to
of it
where
before.
it's like keeps the suspense of who Darth Vader is for the most amount of time.
This is about as tilting as watching Haruhi.
Oh,
Ugh.
I watched Haruhi too. That was
like completely out of order.
But yeah, long story short, Bunny Senpai movie, very good. If you like the series, it elevates it. Promare, very good. And it's like that's a standalone film, and it's also it uses a lot of CG like very well.
yeah. Because I know usually people are just like, oh, like just 2D. Like if you see CG, that's bad.
Yeah.
Since Promare like kind of did it like all in CG, like but it kind of understood that like it's a CG film. Like it wasn't trying to translate like 2D to CG.
It did a lot of really cool CG things.
Yeah, and like I think like when you know, I guess when the animators know the medium pretty well, and, like the technologies they're working with,
Yeah.
it's up pretty well.
Yeah, Trigger has a
Tri-
ton of good animators.
Trigger knows what's up.
Yeah,
And speaking of CG, like Land of the Lustrous is also a series that really recognizes and recognizes and uses the potential of CG. Because like for example, like having CG allows you to like mess with the like camera's perspective, right?
Yeah.
Because then you can redraw the frame or like digitally recreate the frame, and so it allows you to have like the camera move around in like a super dynamic way, as opposed to like it's like kind of like fixed with like 2D.
Yeah, to have like the camera pan around like an object in regular traditional animation takes so long because you really have to like redraw everything.
You have to redraw it every single way around, but if you can digitally recreate it, you just make the object and then you turn it.
like I know like for Makoto Shinkai, like his films, like he literally draws like every single thing.
Yeah, that's traditional animation.
Yeah. So it takes really long, but it's also really like beautiful, I guess.
Oh, for sure. Like Ghibli too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think traditional animation has benefits in that you can sort of warp figures in the sense that they're not consistent in a three-dimensional world, but it really accentuates certain, like, especially emotional features of the face.
I know like for some directors, like they have this thing where like they're like against like using like CG or computer technology.
I think part of it is because they don't know how to use it, and so they don't want to mess with it.
I think
I mean,
part
a
of it's
lot of
that
it is just people being traditionalists.
it's people being traditional. I think it's also because like if CG makes things a lot easier, and they're kind of just like we have to come up on this path, and like that's pretty like our way was like we actually went through trials. Like y'all youngins, you don't know what you're doing, you know. So I think it's kind of like that.
Underpaid to hell.
They're so underpaid.
Like being an animator is actually a shit show.
Yeah, I know. Unless you work for Kyoto, rest in peace.
Yeah.
Unless you work for Kyoto, like
of course that animation
there's
studio is the
a few
one that
other
gets
ones.
bought.
there's a few other like the one that did Land of the Lustrous. They have an in-house team, and in Madhouse, I think they changed.
Yeah,
I don't know which ones are which. I don't follow it too tightly, but I know like some directors, like Masaki Yuasa. He did Ping Pong.
Dude, worth.
I love Ping Pong. Actually, you know what? Let's just get into this. What are your top 10?
That's gonna take a while.
Okay, top 5, or just name notable ones that you really liked.
Over time, like, do you want the big names too, like Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood?
Sure. Like, I mean, if you liked it, you liked it, you know?
Yeah,
It doesn't
that's
matter
true,
how
that's
mainstream it
true.
is.
Fate Zero, Steins Gate. I think that's 3 now.
Is this ranking, or are you just naming ones that you liked?
I am like pretty blank in the head right now, so I'm like trying to think.
Yeah, just name ones that you like then. It's probably easier.
Recently Kimetsu no Yaiba was real good.
You haven't even got anywhere
But
yet.
it's been good so far. I guess the ending could be bad. It's like Darling in the Franxx. It was like good up to like
Okay, the ending was
2/3
really
through,
cool.
and then it was like
I mean, that's because of the hatchet. I thought the hatchet thing was so big brain. In the first episode, the main character is like trying to attack someone that's like obviously like way stronger than him, and all he has is a hatchet, right? So he starts running around the main character, the enemy, in like a circle, and they're in the forest. So he's getting confused on like he's like popping in and out of vision, right? Because he runs between trees and behind bushes and stuff. And so at a point in time, he throws the hatchet and then continues to run. And it's when he's out of the dude's field of vision. So what ends up happening is like he throws a hatchet and keeps his hands behind his back. So it looks like he's still carrying the hatchet, and then he starts running at the enemy, and then the enemy like beats him up, but like see he didn't even have the hatchet, so then he threw the hatchet in hopes that like it would hit that guy after the fact, and that was like pretty 300 IQ.
yeah, dude, the guy had good hatchet skills too.
He had like 99 wood cutting or something.
99 good cutting.
But yeah, back to your
cutting
list.
100.
It's 99, dude.
No, RuneScape is 99, but the meme right now is like Depression 100.
Oh, because isn't that Skyrim?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, we're uneducated.
Yeah, we're not true memers.
Yeah, we're not actual memers.
We're weebs, but we're not memers.
Culturally,
we draw a line.
Culturally removed.
But yeah, keep going. We're in tune with Japanese culture.
You're gonna have to like name some right now because I'm really blank on anything else I've seen.
We were talking about Welcome to the NHK prior to this, or NHK ni Yokoso.
I don't think that'd be in the like top 5 though.
I think it's like, for me, it was like impactful because I realized like,
there's a lot of impactful ones, right?
Dude, like, holy fuck, the guy is getting screwed the entire anime until the last episode.
I mean, you can say like, Gurren Lagann's impactful to someone too, in the sense like don't wait for me to finish here. It's not like relatable in the sense that like NHK discusses real feelings, or like how Ping Pong also like sort of explores human emotion, but Gurren Lagann sort of accentuates like the capability of people to change and evolve, and that's like the premise of the film. It's like exceeding what people believe is impossible, and I think that's been a true motif for like all of human history. Actually, people are like this.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
I mean, I
think
think
Gurren Lagann did a real good job of that.
Because if
like,
you're like boxed in by what you think is possible, you'll never achieve what's quote unquote impossible.
Yeah.
That's why I always say think outside the box. But I think, like, of course, a film has to be impactful on you for it to be in like your top 5 or top 10, right? Because like if you just watched it, but like it didn't matter, then like it's not gonna stick. You know?
Yeah.
I don't think something impactful has to be something necessarily like, oh, I'm going through this right now.
Yeah.
It's just literally just be like you can literally watch like Your Name probably isn't like super relatable to most people, like, you know.
But a lot of people felt it.
But a lot of people were impacted by, you know, like maybe like certain themes in the story stood out to them, or just like even just like how beautiful the film was, that can really impact someone too.
Yeah, I don't know if I entirely agree on that. A good film needs to have a profound meaning to someone. I
mean, I don't think like Pearl Mare was a good film. It's not meant to have a profound meaning.
Yeah,
but it can still have impact, you know.
In what sense do you mean that though?
Like,
are you talking about like enjoyment?
Yeah.
Like,
okay. Maybe literally just like you're having a rough week. Like,
well, yeah. To say something is valuable is to say it's valuable, right?
Yeah. So I mean, I literally just mean impact like that, because I think before you're like kind of saying impact was like, I don't know if like it had to be something like a deeper meaning or something like that. Like impact can just be something really simple too.
Okay.
At least that's like just my definition.
Yeah. I guess we're talking about like super hype things. I thought the No Game No Life movie was good.
Oh, that was good.
I liked it more than the series.
I liked it because it was a genre shift. It literally was not what like No Game No Life feels very isekai. So it has like all the typical genres associated with isekai.
I mean, it shows like where the history of the world is coming from, and it like portrays some of the characters that have been continuous since then. So you get to see how they've changed and everything.
I think it's really cool. I really hope they do season 2 of No Game No Life, because a lot of people have been waiting for it.
It's been 5 years, right?
Oh, it's longer, right? 2012?
It's 2014, I think.
Oh, 2014.
I remember people were watching sophomore year of high school.
Okay, then it hasn't even been announced yet.
No Game No Life is older than Attack on Titan, right?
Attack on Titan was 2012.
Is it? Attack on Titan was 2013, I think.
Really?
Attack on Titan was 9th grade for us.
I remember it being like first semester sophomore year.
I just know Attack on Titan is older than No Game.
It is?
It should be.
Okay.
It should be, yeah.
Dude,
I'm
my
pretty
timeline's
sure.
so messed up at this point.
Yeah.
You know what? I know something that impacted John. Let me tell you. You guys know the isekai genre, right? Now take the isekai genre and then make us a theme song where you just talk about what it actually is. Database, just living in the database.
I thought Lock Horizon season 1 was pretty good. I never saw season 2.
I never did either, but I heard it was bad.
I was still want to say Lock Horizon like one of the top 5 though, but it wasn't bad.
It was funny, partially because of the theme song was such a big meme.
It was enjoyable.
I'd never watched Lost Horizon.
I think it's a really nice spin on the isekai genre.
It was one of the better isekais for sure.
For those who don't know what isekai is, it just means like
Another
you're
world.
in another world. So like usually I guess general isekai story is like some guy, he's probably a loser, he like has no job, he's like ugly and fat or whatever.
It was transported to a fantasy world.
Usually he dies. someone like kills him or something. Or
that's
or
modern isekai. Old isekai, like
just
no
they
game,
get
no,
transported.
no game, no life. Log Horizon, Sword Art Online. They're
All video
transported.
games. Video game
They're
transports.
transported. Yeah.
But in modern isekai, they die.
Yeah.
Mostly.
I think ReZero started that trend, to be honest.
No, ReZero, he didn't die. He literally walked out of a convenience store and got transported to another world.
Yeah,
no,
that's
but
true.
with like the death themes.
Oh yeah,
I
for
guess,
sure.
but-
But like after that, like for some reason, all the people die because they get hit by a truck.
They get hit by a truck. It's always
Was
a
it
truck.
Konosuba that was the first one here?
Maybe he got no, but he died not from getting hit by a truck, but because he was like super dehydrated, right?
No, he like died of shock from like.
Oh, you're right. He
Wasn't
died of shock
wasn't
from
his, like,
almost
childhood-
getting hit by a truck.
Oh, because like he was about to save a kid, right?
And then he failed to save the kid, and then he thought he got hit.
No, it turns out the kid like it didn't matter for him to be saved or something like
Yeah.
that. Because like the truck was like
Saw.
Well, yeah, something like that.
And he died thinking like he saved the kid, but he actually died because he was such in shock from the truck.
Konosuba's a good one.
Konosuba's so funny. Like it's one of the few that I laughed at. The one I actually laughed at the most though was Love Is War.
Konosuba's
I like
similar
Love
to
Is
One
War.
Punch Man, but yeah.
Oh, I
They're
thought
both tropes.
One Punch Man was super like emotional for me. Like I like legit cried in that Moomin Rider scene.
Oh, when
Oh,
he-
season 2.
No, season
season
one.
one.
Season
You're
one.
talking about the scene
The
where
Deep Sea King.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
Moomin
yeah.
Rider versus Deep Sea King. He's like even if like I
have
have to
no
always try because like that's what it means to be a hero.
yeah, and then Saitama like literally one punches him, and then everyone's like begging from the heroes, and he's just like, yeah, like good thing the heroes made it so easy.
Yeah, Saitama is like a legit true hero.
He
though.
was a legit bro, but then yeah, else feels bad.
But yeah, back to.
I thought you guys were going to talk about Kaguya, Love Is War.
Did you think
I mean,
that was really good?
I think you said 5, right?
I probably said 5
Or just
titles,
just name notable ones to you. Like,
I mean, it's okay if it's too hard. Like, what are yours?
recently,
recently.
yeah,
many.
the recently is just that's how it is for me. I finished Kimetsu no Yaiba. That was so good, and like I've
Or
been
episode 19 was lit.
episode 19 because of episode 19, Kimetsu no Yaiba trended #1 on Twitter.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. And so, like, I've been reading some reviews saying that the plot is super, like, not engaging and stuff like that. I'm like, I feel like that's just a little nitpicky. The plot isn't bad, isn't good, you know? And that's, like, not the main thing here. It's, like, shonen for shonen's sake, and it's done to the utmost, like, potential. Like, imagine, like, if Naruto were animated in such a great way and you took out all the filler, right?
I thought Naruto had some good lessons about, like, emotion and growing
I
up.
think Naruto was pretty good up to like the middle, like Pain, and then after Pain, it just got.
I think the only problem with Naruto is there was, like, no power ceiling. It was just, the end
You
seemed
just
so
can
crazy.
I think
even the Boruto, there's no power. Did you know Naruto lost to some dude and almost died, and Sasuke like was literally about to die?
I'm glad you're still keeping up with it.
No, I don't keep up with Boruto. I watched like a thing. I watched Tokyo Source, and they were talking about how like Naruto and Sasuke lost to this one dude. And I was like, literally the entire show of Naruto made him and Sasuke the most OP people in the world. That's
but now
impossible.
Now they're not the main characters anymore, so they can be.
So they can lose.
They could be killed off too.
So they can
Yeah.
lose. You know, that's actually what happened in the beginning of Boruto. They like hinted that like the dude was like, I'll send you to the same place that I sent Naruto.
Yeah.
And like they implied that it's like the new villain.
Yes.
The new villain was talking to Boruto and he's like, I'll send you to the same place I sent Naruto. And like it implied that they killed Naruto, but they actually just sent him to like another realm. So Naruto's now an isekai, but
Naruto wakes up in all world. He's like, crap, I don't have ninja powers anymore. Where's my ninja way?
Wait, speaking of isekai, reverse isekais are pretty cool.
Like what?
Like Recreators and Mao-sama. Like the demon is a part-timer.
I get what you're saying.
Ah.
Reverse isekais, where they
Yeah.
bring it into our world.
Did you finish talking about what we were talking about before Naruto?
Oh, notable ones?
Yeah.
Oh, recently,
Wait, you never finished the Shonen no Shonen sake.
oh, Kimetsu no Yaiba.
Yeah.
I think it's just like a well-done shonen show, and like, if you really like shonen, it's for you, you know? But if you don't, it's not gonna appeal to you, and you're just gonna think the plot is like really thin. Not to say that it isn't, but like it's not gonna be like some psychological thriller like Monster or something.
Like it's not the most innovative plot, but it just does it very well.
It does it like enough. Like that's not what you're coming here for, you know? You're coming here for the fights, you're coming here for the animation, you're coming here for literally anything that UFO Table offers.
Because like, there's always the argument of like, which one's better, like in general, like manga or anime, right? And usually people are like,
The elitists claim it's manga, I feel like.
I mean, elitists probably claim manga because like I think in America at least, it takes more time to read manga. You have to go out of your way to find it. Not like literally take more time. I just mean that like anime
It's more accessible.
seems more accessible.
Probably.
Yeah.
And then
but-
light novels are like, dude, those people are like
Bro, you're
gods.
literally reading like a blog post and like it's just
Yeah, you're
someone,
literally someone's translated
I
blogs.
was just like, I tried reading one before and I was like, I don't care
It's
about
not that bad. I
It's not bad.
It's not
but
bad.
It's, like annoying.
It's just terrible formatting. But
Oh, maybe I've only landed on good ones then.
yeah, but it's just like, yeah. So usually, like as I said, elitists will be like manga, and then most people just be like, no, I like the anime more because like it's animated literally. There's like music, you know, like there's better coloring, stuff like that. You know, so usually like I personally I read more manga than I watch, mainly because like I just don't want to spend the time.
You can
watching
consume
24
manga
episodes.
faster.
You can consume
for
manga a lot
sure.
faster. Like if I literally have nothing to do and like I'm just trying to kill a day in the summer, I can read like over 100 chapters like a day. But that's just me like literally doing nothing.
That's like about 60, 70 anime episodes now. I don't know what the pace is.
Haikyuu was 3 chapters per episode up until a point where they made it 5 chapters per episode.
Oh, they're doing okay.
Yeah, but
And then, the light novels. What was
Is
it?
it like 20 episodes?
It was like this movie we just watched was 2 light novels in a movie, right?
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it depends. It also depends like how much. Like I
Yeah.
know like the longer the series, like if you take there's this really long series called Detective Conan, and
Are
like
they doing a chapter an episode? I thought they are.
That's
they are
One
doing-
Piece,
they
dude. That's
are-
One
They
Piece.
are doing a chapter and episode now because like the author is like he's been working for too long, so he has too many health problems. So he takes too many
no.
breaks in the manga, but then like they don't want to catch up to the manga, so they keep on adding a lot of filler. But like obviously they can't keep on doing that, so now they're just adapting. Like each episode is literally like a manga chapter, so it'll just be like a case is like a 3-part
Oh, no.
series. But before it was like you could literally just do it like 3 chapters in one episode, you know. So, but yeah. So basically, going back to what I was saying, I was reading the debate for Kimetsu no Yaiba or Demon Slayer specifically, and like for them, they're just like the art in the manga is pretty bad, and they're like because of that, it's like they felt like the anime was better because since the plot isn't like particularly like spectacular or anything, it's like it's just very solid. So like they're like the anime actually adds a whole new level. Like it's literally elevating it. So yeah, I just thought that was interesting because usually most people just like the story's the same, so the manga should be better.
Well, most people I think prefer manga because the anime usually tends to leave stuff out, so and
That's
the
true.
and the manga is like the original source material. So like
Like, do you guys have any instances in which like
it's like the book versus the movie debate. Like,
Yeah,
are the
yeah,
Harry
yeah.
Potter
For
movies
sure.
better than the books, or are the books better than the movies?
Yeah, I agree. But like another thing that's interesting is, have you ever watched anything where they deliberately go away from the source material and it's better? I
Better.
I don't remember. The only time I watched I don't really read that many books anymore. So
No, I'm talking about.
I think
manga.
Full Metal Alchemist did a
manga.
little bit better than Brotherhood in the sense of capturing emotion.
like the original Full Alchemist series.
Yeah, I think some scenes captured emotion better. Like, was it Tucker and his daughter?
Oh yeah, Show Tucker.
Yeah, I think he did. I think that one did a slightly better job of capturing the emotion of the scene, but I still think Brotherhood overall outdid the original one by like a mile.
I mean, I think it's hard because you have to remember that the medium is different. So like literally transposing like everything from like their source material to the adaptation like isn't gonna necessarily make it a good film
Yeah,
or good anime. Like I know for like
but I think ruining the story is the big problem with most
Yeah.
adaptations being
Yeah.
worse.
And even then, like, if you have a panel by panel adaptation, it's not always the greatest. Like, One Punch Man season 2 got a lot of flack, even though it was mostly a panel by panel adaptation.
or taking even like a non-anime example. Like have y'all heard of Watchmen?
Yes.
Yeah, so like Watchmen's a very gritty like comic book series. Like it basically changed like how a lot of comics are because it set a darker tone. So they had a movie in like 2009, and like that is known to be a pretty faithful adaptation. Like they changed a little bit of stuff, but for the most part, like it was very similar to the comic. But it also was a very controversial film too.
Oh,
Mainly
Why?
because like I mean, I know for like the director's style, like it's very visual based, it's very drawn out. So like I think for a lot of people they just didn't like that. But I just thought it was interesting, like because Also, like the content, like the story of Watchmen is also
Okay, the story of Watchmen's really cool.
It's very controversial too, though. But I just thought it was interesting because I think the film was like for critics they either like loved it or they hated it. But it was a more faithful adaptation. So I was like not like adapting everything is not necessarily gonna make the adaptation
that's
better.
true.
That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
I think there's also the issue of like if you're just raw adapting, are you doing anything? Because then you lose like. I mean, surely anime has creative freedom even if you're just raw adapting because you have scenes in between panels, you have voice hearing, you have music. You also have things that can't to change too.
Yeah, you also have things that can't be transposed from a manga to an anime. Like for example, Kimetsu no Yaiba, there's a scene where the guy with the pig mask, he uses an ability. It's called spatial awareness, and in the manga they can't portray any way besides just talking about it, right? Because in the anime, what they did is they took all the dialogue out and they just retroscoped it, and they just had like the field expand.
Silence, and you follow where the guy is sensing. What it does.
So like even then, like transposing like something still to something moving is like you have to do something.
Yeah, I know. Like so a lot of people like if it's like an action manga, they probably like the anime more, mainly because it's more fluid. Like I know a lot of people prefer the anime of Haikyuu more, mainly because like it's a sport, so like
it's better seen in motion.
It's better seen in motion, right? I mean, I personally like the manga mainly because like it's just a head. So, like that's just what I've been reading.
Yeah,
I can like definitely understand.
You should read web comics for One Punch Man, then you'll be done too.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, the web comics look so.
The web comics can low key be an animation. Like I was reading one of them, it was like flip motion, and I was like, dang, this is beautiful.
For what?
One Punch Man.
Oh yeah. Yusuke Murata is insane at like depicting movement.
Yeah.
Like it feels like all the panels are moving.
Mm-hmm. Like it takes actual skill for sure. Like I remember reading this one. It's like this random manga about manga, but the main character instead of being a mangaka, he was an editor. And then like it was an interesting twist. But basically like his first client is some girl who like just wants to get into like manga because like her dad is a manga artist, but like he kind of abandoned her, so she wants to like kind of one up on him. But then like she doesn't have any formal training, so her art, like her drawing style was like trash. And they're like, how can you make this person better? And then they're kind of talking about in the manga how like when you're a good artist, it's not just literally about like the quality of your drawing, it's about like perspective and like where you're placement of like objects,
like capturing emotion.
So, like you need to like know like what each panel is doing, because like if you don't know what you're doing in each panel, then like it doesn't matter, like because you can work on like drawing characters or like making it better looking, but if you're not really thinking about like what are you trying to do in each panel, like what emotion are you trying to evoke, then like that's hard, you know.
It's like you need to picture what you capture. The creativity of being able to know what to capture is more important than the technical skill of being able to execute it.
It's like One Punch Man webcomic. Like you don't need to actually know how to draw. You just need to know how to like place it right, make a good story, stuff like that.
I wouldn't say you need to know how to draw because he kind of got lucky because someone caught on.
Yeah, Murata like.
Yeah. But if no one had caught on to it, it would have.
No, but it had its own following. That's part of the reason why Murata found it. Like remember, like he was a manga author for fun. You know, like the only reason he kept doing it is because people kept wanting more.
Yeah.
It was originally meant to be a one shot.
Yeah, I just think you do need to have at least some,
some
skill.
Technical skill definitely does matter. But like I remember reading about
the more importantly, you need to be able to capture ideas.
I know because like I remember reading like people who like actually knew art, like they thought like the original like one was just like trolling. Like they thought he was drawing bad art on purpose because like he actually like
capture some stuff.
Like good stuff better. Like he had like perspective and stuff like that. Before they realized like he's just bad at drawing. But yeah.
But yeah, actually let's trace this all the way back. Anime that were noteworthy, right?
I actually really like Noragami. I just thought about it.
Oh, I still haven't finished the second season.
I don't remember what happened. The first season was better, I think.
Really? I thought that was the one that was like weird because it deviated from the source material.
No, I think they did a good deviation actually. It was one of the better deviations by far.
What else did I find really?
Not that I can remember what their deviation was anymore.
It was some random dude that knew Nora, right? Right?
I don't know.
Was this
And
like
he
a
was-
crow mask guy or whatever? You know, never saw the face.
No, you saw his face. This guy was edgy.
This guy was edgy.
Yeah, like he's pretty.
Kirito Edgelord.
Okay, dude. I have enough of edgelords. I've watched like Tokyo Ghoul. I've watched a lot of
Ari
isekais.
Ferretta.
Yeah, like Ari Ferretta is literally like if you copy pasted Ken Kaneki from Tokyo Ghoul, took away all the nuance and just put him in an isekai. That's what it felt like. He's like, oh, I'm gonna eat these monsters, and it's like, I don't care. Like, dude, fuck everyone that gets in my way. But wait a second, I need to get some mad bitches. Like it's crazy. Like, I only want to watch it just to finish it. Like, I watched the 12th episode recently, and I wanted to blow my brains out the entire time watching. It made me realize I hated watching the show, but I just wanted to finish it to say I finished it.
So he experienced the bads and how he appreciates the good.
Ooh, I really like Parasite.
That was good.
I love Parasite. I listened to the soundtrack so much after I finished the show.
I really think a soundtrack is really impactful on how well a show is done. Like the choice to whether use a soundtrack or not to use a soundtrack is a big one, and then
Like Ping Pong.
what you do is also big too.
Like Ping Pong has like a good score, and part of it is silence.
Yeah.
And it's just like a lot of the score and just key moments is just like the sound of the paddles hitting the ball. Mm-hmm. And I think that one's super good. Actually, no. You know what's noteworthy to me? Night is Young, Walk On Girl by Misaki Yuasa. It is such a good anime movie.
Well, I don't think I've seen this.
It's because it's like
Have you heard of it before?
No, I don't
it's
think
like a
so.
spin-off of Tatami Galaxy. That one's the more well-known.
Have you heard of that before?
I've heard of it.
Yeah, so it's a spin-off using the same characters but a completely different plot. And it follows like these two characters. One is this guy who's had a crush on the girl, which is the other main character, for a long ass time, but he doesn't have the confidence to like really go up to her and like say anything, so he like puts himself in these coincidences where he like appears in her visions, like using some psychological shit. Like if she sees me a lot of times, maybe she'll like come up and talk to me, and then we can like hit it off. So he's kind of like an incel in the beginning, but he grows up.
We're getting back to Kaguya. Love is War.
But yeah, like he's kind of like that in the beginning. He's like finding all these ways to appear in front of her, and then she's like kind of like an ABG, dude. She's like doing crazy stuff.
Dude,
Like,
are you calling ABGs crazy?
she does so much crazy stuff. The first thing she does is go on a huge drinking rampage, drinks all the alcohol in the town, and then she challenges this underworld lord guy for like this premium alcohol, and she outdrinks the shit out of him, and then he gets depressed, and then she drinks alcohol and then gives it to everyone, and then everyone gets drunk. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But it like the plot is like it's not there in the beginning, in the sense that like it's not in your face about it until the end, when it sort of like says what it wants to say. Like I think you had a lot to say about it because me and Alex watched it.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, what was impactful was like, because like the film isn't just about him trying to get the girl; it's about like his fantasy and like how he kind of just wants the girl because like he just wants to have a wish fulfillment, and like when he doesn't get it and like he's like sick, like he gets sick at the end, and it's like no one's like visiting him, and he's just like he has an existential crisis, and like what he was saying like had a really big impact on me because it was like relatable. Right? It was like because he's a college student, so a lot of it was just like him like not really knowing what he wants to do in the future, like kind of like he's looking for a job, is like companies aren't like going for him, he's like he just doesn't know what he wants, and like college wasn't necessarily like what he thought it would be, you know, he didn't have as many friends as he wanted, and like I feel like that's something that's super relatable to like a lot of people in college, where it's just like I think you come into college like, hey, like this is gonna be the best 4 years of my life, like everything's gonna be really easy, like I'm gonna meet people left and right, I'm gonna make my closest friends, but then like you come in and like it doesn't happen immediately, and you're just like, what's going on? Like,
Or it just doesn't happen at all.
it just doesn't happen at all.
Like,
Yeah, like, and then you kind of just like, if this is the best 4 years of my life, then like, I'm donezo, you know? Like, it's only gonna get worse from here.
Yeah.
And then like, I mean, there's just so many stuff like, this is stuff I thought about before, but like, you never really like see it play out in like a story, and you never really see it kind of talked about in like that medium. So like, seeing that was just like, oh hey, like someone knows what's going on up there, even though like this is set in like a completely different country, like kind of just like the human condition experience is like pretty universal. So that's why I really liked it, and I plan on watching Tatami Galaxy one day.
Tatami Galaxy is, I think it's something special.
Yeah, I remember one of my friends, he was like, if you liked Walk on Girl Night is Young, like you're gonna love Tatami Galaxy, because like that's even longer.
It expands it more.
Yeah.
Because like Tatami Galaxy is about like the alternative paths. Like it follows a main character who's never given a name. It's just Watashi, and like it talks about like his rose-colored college life.
Watashi's eye.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It's like rose-colored college
No, I was
experience.
explaining it in case.
Oh,
yeah.
Thanks.
Problem.
But like it's talking about his college experience, and it basically goes down some alternative paths of like what he does he thinks is enjoyable, and then it like makes its conclusion, and then it like wraps up in the end in a really cool way. But yeah, it's like if you liked Night is Young, Walk on Girl, then for sure Tatami Galaxy is like, I think they're both like really good for college people to watch.
Yeah.
Like for sure.
I think a lot of it's just like in college, like you kind of think everyone's having fun. Like social media is such a big thing, so like you don't really realize like sometimes social media is just a front, you know.
I think that's true. Not even just in college. This is true in life. People post their best on social media, so like you're like, oh wow, this person's having so much fun and wherever they're traveling to for work, but you don't know like the dynamics behind there. Maybe they're also like having an argument with their manager, what's happening there. You don't get to see that. You just see that, wow, they got to travel to Chile and they're on an island or something like that.
Yeah.
Kind of just like like it seems like everyone's having fun, but I'm not. When like you don't really know that other side. So I think it's just a very like human film too. It's just like, hey, you're not alone, you know. And like I think that really.
I think a lot of his works are superhuman. Like Ping Pong was superhuman. Like it really delves into like success, failure, like what it means to even succeed, you know, and like what is it worth? What can you sacrifice and still succeed and be like satisfied with yourself?
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So I think Masaki Yuasa is a very special director. Like Devilman 2. Devilman Crybaby?
Yeah, I heard that's based like an art house anime.
Yeah, it was based on Go Nagai's
Yeah.
Devilman from like a long time ago. And they modernized it so well. Like, dude, it's modernized so well they have Rapanese in there.
Rapanese?
There's like this group of like rappers that was introduced in episode 1, and they're like sort of like a motif because like their raps like tell like the story of the situation.
Yeah.
And like they're just rapping all the time. So like you can tell from like the raps, it's like in the beginning it's like really lighthearted. In the middle it's like kind of sad. One of the rappers like likes this girl, and then in the end it's just like so sad. Like it's so like despair ridden and stuff like that because like a bunch of shit happens at the halfway point of Devilman. And it just Masaki Yuasa knows how to like do stuff with his characters and emotions that like is so hard to measure out.
But also his art is like, well, I'm gonna preface this with a word that's commonly used to describe him as avant-garde.
Yeah.
So it's like his art is not what you would expect from most animation as well, but it's so powerful for conveying what he's trying to convey. So.
But another thing about his art is like sometimes you can't tell if it's bad because he wanted it to be
It's
bad.
not bad because he wanted it to be bad.
No, sometimes it looks bad because it just looks bad.
I think like that kind of goes back into like what I was saying earlier about like what good art really is like, cause like I'm not gonna lie, like I have heard of Ping Pong before, but like I didn't know what it was about, so just looking at the art I was like, do I really want to watch this? I think it's also just like just knowing that art is more than just like
how pretty
something is. I mean, I think that's the reason why in like a lot of modern art museums, like a lot of it just looks like dog shit, and like you can't really tell what it's doing. But you know, I guess to the critics are like, it's capturing the human emotion of sadness. And
I feel like it's also not too important to list what critics say for some things because
they're
focused on analyzing like the technical aspects of their art. Like, is the composition good? Does it evoke this emotion? Does it evoke that emotion? But really, like, I think art should be, if you see something and it doesn't make you feel anything, then that's not art to you. Like, maybe you can see some other piece and then the critics think this piece isn't good, but it could be good to you as long as it is meaningful to what.
Are you basically saying like beauty's in the eyes of the beholder?
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah. I also think like life imitates art in the sense that like anime isn't like out of this world. It doesn't talk about like inhuman subjects most of the time.
I mean, art imitates life.
Wait,
no, it's both ways.
It's both ways. It's both ways.
Yeah.
Because like anime, like it seems really weird when you don't watch it and you look at it from the outside, and the culture is kind of weird.
Yeah.
But like they're not discussing like super abstract things most of the time. Like a lot of this is like grounded into human experience. Like for example, isekai stems from the idea of like Like the world sucks.
I think people want to go into fantasy worlds. That's
Yeah,
why
it's escapism.
MMOs. Yeah.
That's why there's a lot of like isekais are usually like the guy's in need. Like it seems like he has no future, but he's teleported to a new world
where he has a future.
He has a
and
future,
everything is great for him.
and everything is great. Everything is kind of
except for
around him.
ReZero.
Wait, ReZero, he still was living his best life until he died.
It was a lot.
No, like the first time he died is when he realized he wasn't living his best
I mean,
life.
I think that's how like. Yeah, I think just going back to that though is just like it is a fantasy, you know, and, like they're targeting a certain demographic.
Yeah.
I think art pulls from experiences in life, and then life draws from art as well. Like it points directions. It evokes thought in
It's
people.
a two-way street.
Yeah.
They kind of feed into each other, right? So it's like
Yeah, like another one that I really like. I probably put this in my top 5 is Psychopaths, like the original, not any of these random spin-offs.
There's spin-offs?
You know, season 3 is coming out this coming season.
Yeah, but I heard
It's
the
8
hopes
episodes.
were not that high for it.
It's 8 episodes. Like that's just such an odd number already. That's like a
It's
monogatari
literally
type of
an
number.
even number.
No, like okay, you're trolling. You're trolling.
this guy's a math major.
This guy's trolling. He's literally just a fake math major.
Dude, I'm true pre-med, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
There's only one path for him in life.
But apparently the plot follows 2 new recruits.
Oh.
And it's like set much further in the future. I think
So you don't see the old characters.
you do. They're old.
Oh, that's not that far in the future then, right?
No, they're like old. They got gray hair.
Oh, no, I thought you meant like 1,000 years in the future kind of future.
Oh.
Yeah, because that is still near future, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess, but like it's just weird. But like, we're apparently the Sinners of the System movies were good. Like especially the third
The
one.
one in Africa or whatever?
No, that's the
Is
one
that
they did
part
on
of
their own.
Psychopaths, Sinners of the System?
Yeah, it's a trilogy movies that they did, and like 2 of them are prequels, and one of them is about Kogami and Akane.
Oh, Made in Abyss! I totally forgot. That's
Made
been
in
my
Abyss?
favorite one. The time.
I think
like,
I
3
think the
years.
score is like if
Kevin Penkin is
Kevin Penkin is not Japanese, which is such a cool thing.
Australian.
He's Australian, and what's really cool is that the main song Karatina Havinaze or whatever it is, this song is composed in the language of the abyss.
It's like
They
a language
they constructed the language and sang the song in the language of the abyss.
It was crazy when stories have such rich worlds that like they literally come with like they build the lore first and like they come with like
the
Yeah,
world
bottom
building, that one
up.
is
Bottom up
insane.
is cool.
yeah, because
It's so bottom up that they're going to the bottom.
yeah, it's pretty wild, honestly. I know Lord of the Rings was like that too. Like
Yeah, they made their own language.
yeah, and it's just like you can tell the author has a lot of passion for his story in that way.
What else was Made in Abyss won Anime of the Year whenever it came out?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it did.
it was actually I think underwatched too.
I
lot
think
of
it was
people did not
severely
see it,
underwatched.
yeah.
I think a lot of people need to watch Made in Abyss. It is
Yeah.
so good. My Hero, I really like My Hero.
I think My Hero has a really good plot, and it's very effective at driving the plot.
Yeah.
Because it uses the fight to drive the plot more than they use the fight to like fight.
Yeah, like for example, their tournament
Like, there
arc
is
was
actual
super.
tactics,
Yeah,
Yeah, there's tactics, and like each fight has meaning. They like skip the fights without meaning.
yeah.
I mean, it's kind of similar to like how you're describing like Demon Slayer, where it's like it's not necessarily the most innovative shonen, but like it's very well done. You know, yeah, like it has a purpose.
Studio Bone. Yeah. What else? What else? I feel
I
like
guess maybe let's not think too much about what else right now. But what would you say defines like a good what makes a good what makes a show good?
Like it's to
And
you,
then
at
what
least.
would have like the
to
best
me.
show?
Okay, I'm like very. For example, when I rate things on my anime list, it's just pure enjoyment. I don't rate it on anything else. Like if I enjoyed it, it's a 10. If I didn't, it's less than that. You know.
Well, what factors do you think make a show?
Oh, so to
enjoyable?
you, it's just like it's either bad or it's good.
Well, no, it could be like medium enjoyment, right? Like, you could be
Yeah.
like this wasn't.
Oh no, because you were saying like it's either like a 10 or
No, like 10 is like I enjoyed it a lot,
okay,
and then like it scales down to like 0 where I didn't enjoy it at all.
okay, sure.
Like
what would you rate Ari Ferretta?
Ari Ferretta, I
Ari
need to.
Ferretta.
I need to like give it the minimum amount of points. It was I can't believe I
like-
forced myself to finish
It's
it.
like -5. I loved hating on it.
It was so bad.
I
But-
think it was almost bad in its own right. I would have given it like a 2, 3. It
Yeah.
wouldn't be a 0.
Really?
A zero is like so bad that you can't even enjoy how bad it is. Like there's no cult following. Like the room is so bad that it's like not a zero, you know?
Like I thought you were talking about like Inferno Cop or something where there's like actually no animation and it was just like a puppet show.
So in a way, you're like mediocre would be rated.
Mediocrity is
rated worse than like actually just straight up bad. Because at least straight up bad, they tried. They just failed miserably.
I guess so.
No.
I guess
Sharknado is not a zero either.
yeah, but Sharknado was bad because it was trying to be bad. I thought.
Oh,
Yeah.
but should that mean it's good?
Big
It's a satire.
brain.
Dude.
But yeah, I think what makes it good is like if it evokes like what it intended to invoke, right? Like for example, Kimi no Na wa invoked like you know, kind of sadness, kind of like excitement, kind of like all these like different emotions.
I know that it doesn't have to be the same for everyone.
Yeah.
Or as like, let me rephrase. Like it's supposed to evoke certain things, but not everyone has to feel the same thing. Does that make like it's
Yes.
Yeah.
Like Koi no Katachi, I felt a lot.
Like there's things that the author has to convey, but the things that you feel from the work may not necessarily line up with what the author was trying to convey. But that doesn't make it any less valid.
It doesn't invalidate what you're going through.
Yes.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like I feel like part of the reason why I enjoyed Koi no Katachi so much is I feel like my high school experience wasn't the greatest, and I can relate in the sense like, you know, you don't have friends. I didn't necessarily bully anyone or get bullied, but
That's what you think.
Some guys listen to us is like that Ben fucker. Only he knew.
But yeah, like I didn't necessarily get bullied or bullied, but I can feel like like the loneliness was like universally like applicable and stuff like that. Like feeling isolated within a community and having like people that like only cared for you on the surface and stuff like that. I can really like get in tune with that. And okay, so here's something I feel like is a little controversial, but like the character Ueno in that show, like a lot of people thought she was like really stupid, like just, you know, irrational and stuff like that. But I feel like she's not that bad. It's just like a really loyal friend.
Okay, that was the one with the black hair.
Yeah,
the one who liked the main character. Yeah,
it wasn't even apparent in the movie that she liked him.
Oh really? Yeah,
I thought it was fairly apparent.
I read the manga, so yeah.
It just seemed like they were like.
I think the source material was better for this one actually.
Okay, like for me, it just appeared that she was like a super loyal friend, and I have some friends that are like that, so like it really appealed to me.
I think Ueno is the realest character in there.
Yes.
I mean, I think it's the one where like, if someone did this to your friend, you would react in that way. Like even in Bunny Girl Senpai, there's a scene where like some character gets like hurt, and like the reaction from the main character is just like, oh, I'm still like okay with you, like, you know, I still want to help and support you, to like some other character who was like indirectly involved. But like I think in most in real life to just be like why the fuck are you like here, like why are you in the way, you know?
Yeah.
So I understand where you're coming from.
So you focus mainly on like enjoyment and whether or not it connects with you. That's
Yeah.
what you consider the best.
Like for example, Kimetsu no Yaiba, I enjoyed it not because of the plot, because like all the technical aspects of it make it so enjoyable as an experience. But at the same time, something like that touches you deeply, like for example, The Girl Who Leapt Through Time touched me a lot. And it wasn't the most technically like well done movie, but like the meaning behind it meant something to me.
And like that's what you would put first in terms of like your criteria for rating a film.
What about you?
Yeah, kind of the same. I think like watching something, like not even anime, is like an experience. So it kind of goes back to like what it makes you feel. Like obviously like this is not like an anime, but like have y'all ever watched Dunkirk?
I've heard of it. It was a Christopher Nolan.
Yeah. So I really like that film because to me it was conveying this feeling of like you're so small in this world and you're trapped in this war and you just want to escape and go home, right? But like who you are and like wait like I guess like it doesn't really matter like who the person is or like how invested you are in the character, the backstory. Like it's just like a universal theme of like you're just trying to escape. Like that's an experience versus like there's no real plot, but like that's not the point, you know. But for some people, like they didn't like the film because like, oh, like I don't really know the character. Like why should I care? And to me, I'm like, well, you just have no empathy then, because like the whole point was that like anyone could be in the situation, because like at the time like you were just driving to war, like they were just boys, you know, and just like the feeling of like my time is up and I just want to survive. I just want to go back home. Like I feel like that should be universal. So to me, like I really like that film, but I also recognize like yes, like there's not really much. There's like the characters are kind of nameless. The plot's not really there, but I feel like that's not the point. But I understand for like some other shows like the plot is like what drives it. For some other shows like the characters are what drive it. Some shows like it's really about the visual experience. So I think for me it's just like as long as any of those four things like leaves an impact on you and like it causes you like joy and like it makes you it has a great impact on you, then like to me like that makes it a good film or a good anime.
What about you?
I think what makes something good is definitely the experience that each person feels as well. But I guess sort of adding on to what you said, I think the to evoke experience, something a film absolutely must have is one of like the following. It would either have to be distinct, like capture distinctly human aspect, capture something of beauty, or like I guess it needs to capture one of those two. And in doing so, it needs to do it through either plot, its art, or like its characters. I think overall a good show should have all those qualities, and it can't be conveyed in like too complex of a manner. It needs to be down to earth and relatable. So like in that sense, I don't think there will ever be like an ultimate form of art, because
like nothing is
because you can't capture everything right in one aspect and have it be impactful. To have it be impactful, you have to focus on those two or three or even one thing. So it's like, but obviously life is more complex than that. It's just you can't, to capture everything is
I mean I think that's why like good art is like kind of going as close as it can to real life, regardless of how like realistic it is, but like just like how much you can capture, like
so not visually realistic, but like like personally realistic.
Like there are a lot of like fantasies out there that are like obviously it's not realistic because like there's no such thing as like magic, but it can be realistic in terms of like how like the characters think, like these would be like us but like just in a different setting, so stuff like that.
I think the generationally defining shows will do this well. They'll like capture something and they'll be innovative with it, right? They'll innovate in some way, either artistically or directionally, or like what it shows. I think Akira was a good example of that.
Oh yeah, we watched that semi recently, and at the time I didn't really get what it was really talking about. But having delved more into it afterwards, like
it should like invoke thought about what the human condition is.
Agreed.
Like I heard like Akira itself, like in terms of the plot, it's very rushed, but like what really set apart, like
oh, you mean the movie?
The movie, yeah.
The plot is rushed.
Yeah, like
so
because like the manga wasn't even done like when they released the movie, so like
and then they changed it based on the movie's reception.
Like so, the movie is very like the manga is very fleshed out. Like that's why some purists will like the manga more, right?
Yeah.
They're like, oh, Akira's not actually a good film, but the impact Akira has on like just culture in general is so profound. Like you see like so many people wanting to go into anime because of Akira. So many people in like the Western world got into like movies because of Akira. Kanye is literally like that's just like his favorite anime. Like there's just so much like impact it has. So in a way, it's like even the plot was rushed. Just the visual experience, like as you were saying earlier, is like it drew out a lot of like human emotion.
Whatever connects with like the society at the time is the generational show.
Same with Evangelion. It came out a little later, right? 10 years?
Yes, about 10 years later.
Like, it's a pretty standard mech show until you realize that like mech shows weren't that standard at the time that it came out.
It made them standard.
It made them standard, and then on top of that, it had like in the last arc and in the end of Evangelion movie, it like fleshes out like what is going on mentally with like this main character.
Yeah.
And I thought that was like reading. It took me a long time to actually understand what it was said to like portray, and after realizing, I was like, it really did portray that. It's just that, you know, I don't know if you can get it upon first watch because there's a lot of things you don't notice and you don't realize why it's happening. But I think that's really cool in the sense that, as John said earlier, it evokes thought into like what is actually going on and what did you get versus what did other people get and what was intended for people to get.
I mean, I think if anything, that shows like the best like films and animes and just like pieces of art are the ones that you have to like explore multiple times because there's just so much content and themes to unpack. You know, like if you can watch something once and get all there is to it, like is it really that good of like a piece of art?
Well, are you exploring the art enough also is a question to ask too.
Wait, what?
Are you exploring the art enough is also a question to ask. It's not science where every word is rigorously defined and everything is there for you.
Yeah.
Art is always up for more interpretation, no matter how many times you've seen it.
Yeah, that's also true.
So I think the concluding message from today is like inspirational and thoughtful, right?
Yeah.
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 I think at the end of the day, it's ultimately like what impact it has on you. And I guess the more the films that have a popular consensus that's good, or like they drew out a lot of impact out of you as a person. But a bad film can still be good to you if it had an impact on you. It just may not necessarily be common amongst other people, but it doesn't invalidate what you're feeling at the time.
Yeah, like Wolf Children.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think Wolf Children is generally considered a good film. It's just that me and some of my friends were like, we kind of disagreed with how the ending went, you know, stuff like that. But then in the end, it's just like that also goes to show you even like a good film may not hit the note with everybody. That doesn't necessarily mean that like for the people who liked it, like oh like you didn't know what you were talking about, or the fact that like we didn't like it means that like we just didn't appreciate it enough, you know.
I think you should also embrace uncomfortability at the end of films, because sometimes if something is uncomfortable, it shows where you are maybe lacking. Like I don't want to say lacking as a person, because sometimes it should be uncomfortable.
Like it's like saying like, hey, you need to look at this new perspective.
Yeah. There's like things you haven't thought of before. There's things you can are open to exploration.
I mean, that kind of goes into like the film coming out recent, like The Joker. Like,
I'm so stupid.
Okay, let's not talk about it. It's way too controversial, especially right now.
Yeah, with the oh man.
I'm not gonna lie. I like the concept, but seems like the public doesn't.
I mean.
Well, there's also just threats and everything.
Yeah, I mean that's valid too.
It's a sensitive time for that show.
Yeah.
I was just thinking that like, I mean, saying like that new perspective, something that makes you uncomfortable needs to be thought of as like that could be applied to a lot of different stuff.
Yeah,
Sure.
I agree.
Yeah.
So, concluding thoughts. We'll start wrapping it up now because I think we hit a little over an hour, but you know, give or take some. It's not bad.
Yeah.
What do you think about today? Actually, no. Before we get that, since it's an anime themed episode, let's all give 1 or 2 recommendations.
Go to me last, I think.
Okay.
Wait, actually, sorry. Let me say one first. Made in Abyss. Made in Abyss is my recommendation.
Okay.
Yeah.
My recommendation would be Makia When the Promised Flower Blooms.
I mean, I'd probably recommend that Night is Young, Walking Girl. But if you want a unique one, the Kaguya-sama anime they were talking about earlier, I feel like it's very clever, and like at first glance you're like, this is stupid, but like there actually is like a very human element to like what's going on.
It's also very chill and it's casual. It's casual.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So Made in Abyss, just give a little rundown what that is.
Made in Abyss is about I guess it focuses primarily on a girl who lost her mother to an literally an abyss. It's like a hole in the ground, and this hole is sort of fantastic, like phantasmal. There's magical properties, and it's about her exploration of it.
And Makia is like a story about motherhood, and it follows like not immortal, but like basically elves that live a long time, much more than humans. And like humans want the longevity of elves, so they invade the elves, and it brings these elves into the human world, and it explores like the main character who finds a child, and she raises this child even though she's basically a child too. It just explores like themes of like a mother isn't necessarily just like your biological mother.
Kaguya-sama is basically about like kind of 2 students at this high school, this like elite high school basically, and they're both on the student council. The main guy is the president, the main girl is the vice president, and they're both like in love with each other, but like they both have a lot of pride, so like they don't want to admit it to each other. So like they're basically, the series is basically like kind of like this series of mind games that they play on each other to like kind of trick them to confessing like first. So yeah, it's very clever.
Yeah. And so concluding thoughts. How did you feel about coming in today?
I think it was an interesting discussion. Sometimes it's difficult to vocalize. I think a lot of people have the problem. It's difficult to vocalize exactly what you're thinking of.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
But I had fun. It was good to be here. I'm tired as usual, but
Oh my god, how is it using the mic?
I don't know. How's the feedback? It looks like it's working.
Yeah. How is using your own mic for something besides Discord?
Dude, I use it for stuff besides Discord, like trombone and piano recording.
Oh my, that's fake. This guy doesn't.
I'm serious. I
this
used
guy
it for
doesn't
my college application.
He literally doesn't even know how to play any instruments.
Shut the.
But yeah,
I have not played trombone in like 3 years though.
See?
That's why you're asking.
See?
GG.
But yeah, before we completely wrap up, one more shout out to our sponsor, Absence Apparel. If you want nice, minimalistic, like subtle Asian trait themed sort of things, make sure to check it out. Absence Apparel. And yes, we're on Nuanced Nonsense. We're not experts or anything, but we love to talk. And